Everyone knows that if you want to play as a solo in Dark and Darker, you go to the Goblin Caves, and by that I mean I suck and stand no chance inside Howling Crypts or the Ruins that allows for parties up to 3 players.
No, no, oh god. Ah! Ah! Ah!
In Dark and Darker, if you die, you get nothing, and if you have nothing, that means you get no money, because you have no thing to sell. So I thought to myself, how much money can I make in the Goblin Caves with a 0-level fighter as an average player in 10 raids? It was going to be 50, hence the name, but I drastically underestimated how much time this would take. But if you want to see a 50 raid experiment, let me know by liking and commenting. Let's get into it. First raid started swimmingly with instant action. I saw a barbarian and decided to try my luck, is what I would have said if I had any luck. The second raid I was determined to do better. I got into a sloppy fight with some goblins, getting badly injured in the process, but I looted all the containers in the area, found a new weapon, and decided it was time to move on. Killing more enemies and delving deeper into the caves, I came across a mini-boss, the Skeleton Knight. So I lured it over to a steep incline, its worst enemy, where I could take my time and kill it by chopping at its knees, but the Plague Zone came in soon after. I was taking a lot of damage, but eventually was able to take the creature out. I looted some very valuable looking items, and so I began searching for a way out, but then came across a couple players who had teamed up. I tried to escape, but unfortunately I got trapped.
They teamed up?
I readied myself for the third attempt.
Oh god.
Raid number 3 starts out great. I immediately loot a green helm, kill 2 goblins and pick up some gold, and then loot a blue bracelet to sell later. I move up a ramp into a larger area, kill a bug, and begin the loot kill process over again. But this time when looting, I pick up a better sword, more gold, another helmet, and green Templar armor top. Soon after, I find plate gloves and some shoes to complete the ensemble and continue on, feeling quite safe. After killing some more goblins, I moved further into a different room and stumbled across a player resting, and I now know that he was probably regaining health, so I pushed my advantage knowing he is low. It was a cleric, and I'm not sure what he was doing, just moving around me awkwardly and not attacking, but I will take the win and the loot. I use his health pot to heal up and move on. Almost immediately after I leave that room, I come across another fighter who appears to not want to fight, contrary to his name, so I leave him be and follow the sound of a portal stone, and I finally made it out of a dungeon and can cash in my loot with the local merchants. I made about 100 gold from the previous raid, so I stashed my funds and continued into raid number 4. Almost immediately, I broke open a box and found a blue kettle hat that gave me a boost to physical damage and action speed. This was a great upgrade to what I was wearing previously, and soon after I picked up green riveted gloves, killed and looted some bugs and goblins, and eventually came across the next portal stone. Now instead of opening it up immediately, I decided to wait and see if a player would come, and one did, a rogue. But they are fleet-footed individuals and was easily able to run from me and gain a height advantage with their double jump. And at that time, the room started getting pretty loud and very rowdy, so I decided to activate the portal. And that's when a third contender entered the room from the lower dungeon, a hunter. And I gladly left, but spectated to see if I should have stayed to fight.
I have decided to not. I have decided to just not. I need money. Probably should have waited though. Oh, he was so close to death, too. What did he have? Oh, he had nothing anyways. Not worth the trouble. But what about this guy? Oh, hell no. I am so glad I ran. This dude's running freaking purple bow spear. Why is this guy not in high roller?
So clearly I made the right decision leaving to keep what meager spoils I did have. I stashed my gloves, helmets, and visited the merchants to sell my treasures and was now up to 167 gold. Not a lot, but enough to keep the momentum going. Heading into raid number 5, I began to loot kill cycle yet again, picking up a variety of goods to sell later on. I began by looting and killing the goblins, looting some more, but then I hear a wizard approaching, and he tries to be friendly, but that's how I know he is weak, so I chase him down and kill him. Continuing on, I go down a level and find a rogue lurking, and I kill him too, gladly taking his loot and leaving, and then sell it all to the merchants and dive back in for raid number 6. While I sell this treasure, I will also take this time to thank you for watching to this point, but I also ask you to consider subscribing as most of my viewers don't subscribe, but come back for most videos. So if you're liking this content, please consider subscribing. Moving on to raid number 6. The door opens and I hear a battle raging outside. Armed with sword and shield, I head out. I engage with the warlock, getting 2 hits in, but the goblin archer took him out and stole my kill, leaving just me and a naked fighter. After dispatching the goblin, the fighter made his move, but I was the only one left standing. After preparing to loot the spoils, I hear another competitor approaching from the east. A barbarian pours through the doorway and begins swinging wildly, luckily missing most shots and giving me an opportunity to land enough to end the conflict. I then take much needed time to loot the bodies, use the heals, and make a plan of where to go next, ultimately deciding to move towards the center of the map to the north, looting and killing goblins on the way. I made it to a door, and upon opening I noticed dead spiders, a clear sign of another player. Right when I was about to move on, 3 solid attacks entered my back, ending my run, and quickly returning me to the tavern with no loot and losing all the good armor I had collected up to this point. So I geared up with my meager reserves and went back in swinging. I looted some health pots and a lot more treasure, and then came upon a cleric who didn't want to fight but gave the universal sign of peace: rapid squats. So we ventured forth and came across a ranger who left in a portal and a dead body behind. After looting the corpse, we came across another individual who gave the sign for peace, but 3 is a crowd, so we killed him and took the loot. Then after, an unaware hunter came by, and when we engaged him, we met another hunter. We divided and conquered, looting both bodies. But there was yet another hunter, but this time in the plague. He wasn't much of a threat, so I went in and he died before my very eyes and I looted him as well. This was a great run, and after that the cleric let me take a portal stone. He also made it out, and I left to receive my award. I had a very pleasurable time selling and sorting my stash, and by that time we are now up to 365 gold and on to the next raid. Now this raid was not like the last one, and I got absolutely demolished quite easily because I got trapped between 3 mummies and a locked door and a geared barbarian swinging around a one-handed axe. Lost some good gear, got nothing to sell. On to the next raid. This raid was pretty routine, where I was able to loot some gear, treasure, kill a mimic, and move on to my favorite area in the Goblin Caves, which is this little bookshelf nook. And on my way to that bookshelf nook, I came across a blue ring that someone had left on the mini-boss called the Ring of Resolve, and it gives you an additional magic damage and 2 additional move speed. Now this bookshelf nook, it's guarded by goblins, but you can dispatch them easily enough, and there's lots of decent treasure to grab, and a portal stone spawned really closely. No action, but easy in, easy out. This last raid was proving to be a really decent one. I killed plenty of goblins and looted their belongings, and soon after I came across a lightly geared cleric with 2 shots and he was dead. I moved on and saw a fighter, and I tried to take him on, and I almost had him, but the last bit of health I needed to tank his last attack to finish him off was stripped from me by a goblin who smacked me on the back. Overall, this was a pretty good 10 raids. Although I did forget to record my ending stash somehow, I had around 530 gold, a few sets of boots, swords, and helmets by the end of it. I made it to level 7, and I feel pretty good about the progress made in this challenge. Once again, if you found this style of content entertaining, subscribe and let me know this is what you want to see. Happy surviving, and I will see you in the next one. Path out.